talking all at the same time. Welcome to Unbroken, where we are going to do our part to undo some of the brokenness in the world. Who's ready for that? Yes, yes. I'm Janee, and I have the honor of being kind of the leader of this crazy movement that we are on. I believe that if each of us could become a little bit more unbroken in our families, in our communities, and women, we are world changers. So if we can actually be our best, we are going to change the world. Who's ready? I am so thrilled for today as we are launching this brave space. This is like nothing you have ever seen because we have multi-generations represented. I think we've got a gal, our youngest gal here, I think is 11 or 12. And then I saw out in the audience, one of my mentors, she's 90. Wow. Give her up for the 90. How many shows have you seen that really hit the full generations? And the reason we have done that is because we believe there's something we can all learn from each other. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, you all have something to give, and we all have something to get. Now, you may be wondering, how did we get here? This is actually something that has been birthed in me a long time ago. I got my first microphone at the age of 5. And I took my microphone, I walked around my neighborhood with my notebook paper, and I wrote down all of my neighbors' stories. I then took that notebook paper to my dad's office, copied it, went back to those same neighbors, and I sold them my little neighborhood newspaper. I was a media entrepreneur from a very early age. And as much as I would love to say I've always been in media and always been in this space, that's not the case. I struggled for many, many years to be comfortable with who I am. I took a much more traditional career in corporate America, did leadership development, performance analysis for Southwest Airlines before going on to start my own consulting company. And you would have thought, for all intents and purposes, that I was at the head of my game. But the truth is, even though I looked great on the outside, I was broken on the inside. And now it is so fun to be stepping into who I am really called to be, which is this fun, quirky media gal. So in 2007, I left corporate America. I went out to LA. I was on one of Mark Wahlberg's shows, Moment of Truth. Spoiler alert, not a whole lot of truth on Moment of Truth. Yep. The show was canceled right before my episode aired. And I left that experience going, you know what? I want a different kind of media. Like, I want real media. I believe that life gives us plenty of content. We just have to capture it. And so I came back to Dallas, Texas. I started my own production company with a guy I found on Craigslist. Yes, that's true. And we shot a little 30-second promo of people making a difference giving. A mentor of mine took me to a small network, American Life Network. He took me to the head of programming, and I'm just chatting with this head of programming, and he said, "Oh, I like your concept. How many episodes do you have?" And I had heard that 13 was a good number, so I said 13. And he said, "I'd love to see him. How quickly can you have him?" 2 months. So here I come, and we walk out of that meeting, and my mentor said, "You have 13 episodes?" And I said, "In my head." So my camera guy, John from Craigslist, and I quickly started this show, the first show, Tour of Giving. Shortly thereafter, I knew that that was sort of on the right track, but there was more we could do. We did our second series, Revelations of Authentic Women, where seemingly successful women took off the mask, shared their secret struggles using video journals to open the door to freedom and healing. And through that project, we saw such a great supportive community of women forged. And I was like, okay, now I'm liking positive programming. I'm liking this community of women. So we did the Janee Show. And it was designed to be an authentic look at life through my eyes. After that show, I got married to a cowboy. I met this big cowboy entrepreneur, Randy Hill. We got married, and I spent a lot of time being a wife and mom. After COVID, I realized more than ever, we need each other. We are not created to do life alone. And I thought, how do we take all of these experiences, all of these projects, and put them into one? Thus, Unbroken. And Unbroken, it's not just a television series. That is simply one component. I think the more exciting component is an app and our events where we actually are connecting with women. We are spurring one another on. We are championing each other through the Unbroken app and events. So welcome to Unbroken. I'm so glad you're here. Today we have an incredible lineup for you. We've got Dr. Cheryl Jackson. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Dr. Action.
As we look outside, there is no shortage to the needs of those that surround us. But where do you begin? In today's world, you need innovative giving solutions that don't waste, but maximize your resources. At Waterstone, we are the conduit between your giving and God-honoring causes across the world. Through our giving funds, we bring the best and intelligent giving tools to affect change where it matters to you. Leave a lasting difference today.
We're walking through life. People think we have it all together. We've got life all figured out. Guess what? I've got stuff. Like, stuff going on, my family, my business, and you've got stuff. What if we all had stuff together? Check it out, theunbroken.org. It's a brave, supportive community for women like you and me who want to take action and make change happen. So if you're ready for a place where you can just be yourself, you don't have to be perfect, in fact, none of us are, then join me and the Unbroken Squad. You're not alone, we're all in this together. theunbroken.org. Doing life better together.
Are you looking for an investment that does not depend on the market? Come see Nocona Hills. Nocona Hills is a beautiful gated community on Lake Nocona, only an hour away from Wichita Falls. Nocona Hills has its own 18-hole golf course, airstrip, private fishing pond, and more. And with new homes going up, it's the perfect time to buy. Buy land. They're not making it anymore, said Mark Twain.
Nocona Hills, your gateway to get away.
Welcome back to Unbroken. I'm Janee, and we are here with Cheryl Jackson in the house.
Thank you for having me today.
This is a lady I feel needs no introductions yet. For those of you who don't know her, why not? Let me show you a little bit of the work she's done.
15 years ago, it started with 2 cans of corn. 2 cans of corn and a whisper from God that said, feed my people and treat them how you wanted to be treated when you needed to feed your own 2 kids. My mother, Miss Minnie, said that hope means having only positive emotions. My mother says hope means helping other people eat. Everybody's gonna help other people eat today, right? Most importantly, though, my mother said treat people with dignity, integrity, and respect. We're so good that Oprah Winfrey said, I gotta come down and see what's happening at that place called Minnie's. We're so good that Rihanna said, let me come down and see who's shining bright like a diamond, right? We're so good that Good Morning America named us their hunger heroes. We're so good that even Pepsi says when Minnie's didn't have any food, when we got to a place where I thought we were gonna close the doors, I have friends at Pepsi that just say, come on, girl, I got you. All right.
Oh, that was good.
Action, that is a great video you put together.
Thank you. It was a great video because it just tells the story of what a community coming together looks like. It tells about the power of one. Each one of us as individuals, always, all of us have a purpose. And when you really are shining in your purpose, God will bring everybody into that purpose with you. I started with one. You were one of the ones that I started with. Many people don't know this. 15 years ago, I had 2 cans of corn, 2 desks, one for me and whoever was the craziest person to sit across and believe in my dreams. And it happened to be Janee. A lot of people don't know that. And we did some crazy things to try to feed the hungry and live out our purpose. But 15 years later, when they laughed at us because we served our very first meal, actually RJ's here too in the house, and that's my son. You can give it up for my son because he's here. And when we served our first meal on April Fool's Day, everybody laughed at us. But 15 years later, as we served our 15th, 24 million meals later,
wow,
nobody's laughing anymore. Not a joke. Not a joke.
We did start in a, 500? I say we as if it was my thing too.
It was.
But it was just so fun because I think we spurred each other on.
We did.
And I remember Cheryl, I was like, we can do this. We can do this, Cheryl. Let's dream bigger. And
every day.
Every day.
And we didn't have but 2 cans of corn. I'm like, how much dreaming can we do with these cans of corn, right? But that's who she is. That's who you are, Janee. I mean, you're a pusher. And I usually tell people always hear that word pusher and think it's about drugs. No, I want to push people into my destiny. And you were one of the ones that I was like, who is she, Lord? Why did you send this woman to me? Because I didn't know you. You really didn't know me, but you heard my story. And then you're like, I'm going to come help. And every day you came. I never paid you a penny. You just came and said, I believe in you. And how great would this world be if all of us did that to just one person?
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes. I love Cheryl. Actually, we are shooting at a studio in Dallas, and the guy who owns this studio, Jeff Crilly, brought us together years ago, and he said, I feel like there's something big that y'all are supposed to do.
You did.
And what's so fun is that it had never happened until now. And if you noticed in the show intro, it says unfinished and underestimated. And I think people underestimated you, Cheryl.
Yeah. Oh, I know they did. They laughed at me for years. One of the things they laughed about was what you just showed, the video of Miss Oprah Winfrey coming and being my keynote speaker. It starts with a dream. You see what your dream is, and everybody don't see your dream, so they're going to laugh at it because it's bigger. They're not as big as you are, so don't worry about it, right? God gives some pints, he gives some gallons. He happened to give me a 10-gallon dream that everybody laughed about, and that dream was, I'm going to have Oprah Winfrey come help me feed the hungry in North Texas. And every year at my gala, I would put out a plate for Oprah Winfrey, and I would be tweeting at her and sending her messages, and she's like, I can't do it. But she did it. In 2015, she came and she was my keynote speaker. Nobody laughed at me then, y'all. I'm just telling you. Let them laugh at you. Let them laugh at you. Yeah.
What I heard Cheryl say is her dream was to have Oprah come. Mm-hmm. Cheryl, I think you have some unfinished business.
Okay.
And I'd like to roll a video.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let's check this out.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, Lord, what is Janee
I just
doing?
want to leave a legacy like my parents taught me. I want to teach that to my kids. And I want to teach that to my friends and my family. Because you can hear those people out there getting food. And I was one of those people. And I'm just grateful to be able to serve. It's Matthew 23:11 that says, he that is greatest among you, let him be your servant. And so there's a lot of great people outside those doors, and I'm trying to make everyone around me great. So that's the difference I want to make, is just making people, ordinary people, great people.
Wow, that was years ago. Yeah. I'm crying because my mom's no longer here. She passed away Mother's Day weekend, which is just crazy. And so I'm still trying to finish the work, right? I named Minnie's Food Pantry after my mom, whose name was Minnie. And there was a lot of times where you say unbroken, that I was so broken, I didn't want to move forward. But that purpose and that fire that's inside of me won't let me stop. And people like you that just keep pushing me. And so I am so grateful. I just want to publicly just say thank you. We've never been able to sit on a stage together and people know the the impact that this woman had on my life, and what an impact you've made. And I've watched you and your dreams from afar, and we come in and we collide with energy and love, and we go back out and the world is made better because of it. And I just pray that God continues to elevate your platform, because your message is so powerful. And thank you for giving life to my message as well.
Oh. And Cheryl, it's just starting. Because if you heard in that clip, her legacy, she wants to teach others. And Cheryl, while I believe you've done part of the work, I think that Cheryl Jackson needs to teach people how to dream big dreams and do it. What do y'all think?
I would love that. Yes.
All right.
I would love that. Thank you. Thank you, Janee.
I see you. We are going to take another break, and when we come back, we are going to meet some other brave, bold, unbroken women. Cheryl, I think our work together is just beginning, friend. So stay with us.
Unbroken is a brave, supportive community for women who are ready to take action and create change. It consists of a television series, an app where we can connect with other women across the globe, and events. If you're one of those women who are ready to see the world be a better place, starting with you, then join me at theunbroken.org.
As we look outside, there is no shortage to the needs of those that surround us. But where do you begin? In today's world, you need innovative giving solutions that don't waste, but maximize your resources. At Waterstone, we're the conduit between your giving and God-honoring causes across the world. Through our giving funds, we bring the best and intelligent giving tools to affect change where it matters to you. Leave a lasting difference today.
We're walking through life. People think we have it all together. We've got life all figured out. Guess what? I've got stuff. Like stuff going on, my family, my business, and you've got stuff. What if we all had stuff together? Check it out, theunbroken.org. It's a brave, supportive community for women like you and me who want to take action and make change happen. So if you're ready for a place where you can just be yourself, you don't have to be perfect, in fact, none of us are, then join me and the Unbroken Squad. You're not alone, we're all in this together. theunbroken.org. Doing life better together.
This is the opportunity for us to take off the mask, be real, through one of my favorite segments called Raw Talk. And I have beautiful ladies around me spanning the decades. Yes, round of applause for them. Today's question is, what keeps powerful women, amazing women, from working together? Ooh. Let's start with our youngest member, Liberty. What do you think?
I really felt like as society progresses, we've come to this reality where we constantly are trying to have self-talk that is great, but also we lose the connection between other people to where our self-talk is stronger than acknowledging the dreams and the amazing things that other people have to offer. And so that's for me where I feel like the connection is broken, because we often find ourselves more important than others. And so looking at others for who they were created to be, the dreams that they have, is super important.
I think she needs to take my seat. That's awesome. Perspective over here. What keeps powerful, strong women from working together?
I think we just arbitrarily set certain parameters for ourselves, and we start comparing ourselves to that and keep measuring ourselves up to, okay, well, is my education level better than the other person? Is my speaking skill better than the other person? Is my looks better than the other person? And if it's not, we create tension within us, which then turns into bitterness and comes out differently, that, you know, it just leads to misbehaving and just treating each other poorly and all that. I experienced that firsthand. I could see that tension happen a lot, almost on a daily basis, where I was coming from a coaching place and mentoring and all that, and it wasn't perceived that way. And so when I was having a meeting with my regional manager, and she was like, do you understand why you work better with guys than with girls? And I was like, I have no idea. I really want to help them succeed. I don't know why there's always tension. And she was like, there is that element that women don't like to take words from another woman.
Wow.
There is that element of, she called it jealousy. I don't know.
Call it what it is.
She called it jealousy. She said, you just work with men so much better. That's because when you rub them the wrong way, they see you as the superior.
And I think that's an opportunity for us. How do we break down those barriers? Yeah. Shannan, you see this all the time.
How clinical do you want me to get? That's the question. All of us have an orphan wound, the sense that I'm different, there's something wrong with me. We bury it deep inside in the unconscious, and then we create a false self where we perform and we do wonderful things so that I feel good about myself. But then eventually you're going to meet somebody who pops that bubble and you're like, oh my gosh, my false self isn't good enough. And I'm not good enough, just me. And so internally we have that anxiety where shame is getting popped. And so pride is our biggest comparison, right? So shame and pride are like bodyguards that go in front of our heart, and they're protecting us from realizing how much inadequacy we feel on a day-to-day basis. And so I think that's what stops us from being able to be around and work collaboratively with other strong women, because my sense of self is so tied to needing to perform, to be on, to be the best in whatever avenue. And so the more that we can resolve those unconscious wounds, psychologists can't help it, sorry, the more that, this is not just willpower. So the more you do that, the easier it gets to be able to enjoy people and not have that pride, which is jealousy and envy at the root of all that.
Cheryl, I was noticing a reaction on you during that. Why?
Listen, I'm the oldest one on this panel, I'm sure of it. And it was so beautiful how you just asked the question, what keeps women from working together? And we so beautifully put all these long words, but it's what you said at the end. One word, jealousy. We're afraid that the one person that we see is going to get there before we get there. What we've envisioned for our lives, we want to get there, and then, okay, I'll come and pull you up. When if you lived your life and you really knew who you were, like I know who I am now, right? And so when I see people, I say, it's a pleasure for you to meet me, not for me to meet you, because I already know who I am, right? And so when you really know who you are, then it doesn't stop you from helping someone else. I'm a community leader. I raise money. And when I'm in front of someone that doesn't want to give money to feed the hungry, it's easy for me to say, well, who do you want to give money to? Because I know someone in that field that I will speak their name. We're afraid to speak each other's names. It's that simple.
Well, and I think we have an opportunity here to break down those walls.
Yes.
And it does go back to what you said, Liberty. It starts within us. Mm-hmm. Because if I don't know who I am, I'm not confident in who I am, then how in the world can I help you?
You can't.
Before we came on today, both Cheryl and I, Shannan and I, had some yuck conversations. Not yuck in the sense of, ugh, but just Shannan shared with me, there was a time years ago where I was afraid to give you feedback. It didn't go well. And I said, that's right, because I was struggling with power and control. Why? Because I didn't feel comfortable with myself.
Yep.
And so we have an opportunity, folks, to just think of one area that we can unbreak. And it's not about creating big change overnight, because oftentimes that doesn't last.
Right.
But what are those small, consistent things we can do that truly, if we can unbreak, then we can be unbroken together. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, you're going to get something, but not to worry. When we get, we have to give it. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for an investment that does not depend on the market? come see Nakona Hills. Nakona Hills is a beautiful gated community on Lake Nocona, only an hour away from Wichita Falls. Nakona Hills has its own 18-hole golf course, airstrip, private fishing pond, and more. And with new homes going up, it's the perfect time to buy. Buy land. They're not making it anymore, said Mark Twain.
Nakona Hills, your gateway to get away.
As we look outside, there is no shortage to the needs of those that surround us. But where do you begin? In today's world, you need innovative giving solutions that don't waste, but maximize your resources. At Waterstone, we are the conduit between your giving and God-honoring causes across the world. Through our giving funds, we bring the best and intelligent giving tools to affect change where it matters to you. Leave a lasting difference today.
We're walking through life. People think we have it all together. We've got life all figured out. Guess what? I've got stuff. Like stuff going on, my family, my business, and you've got stuff. What if we all had stuff together? Check it out, theunbroken.org. It's a brave, supportive community for women like you and me who want to take action and make change happen. So if you're ready for a place where you can just be yourself, you don't have to be perfect, in fact, none of us are, then join me and the Unbroken Squad. You're not alone, we're all in this together. theunbroken.org, doing life better together.
Who has had a great time at Unbroken today? Who thinks this needs to be an hour-long show? Yes, daily. I'm just saying. I mean, we got lots of good stuff coming up. Speaking of good stuff, on the show, everyone gets something. So you get this self-care journal. It was actually written by one of our team members, Galen Brugan. But what I love about this is it says, I am loved, I am valuable, I am worthy. What is the self-talk that we can start telling ourselves so we can feel more comfortable with who we are today? Now, if you're in the studio audience, you have two of these. One is for you and one is to give, because that's what we do here. You get, you give, things come full circle, unbroken. And next week, you won't want to miss it. We've got a young girl who is showing us just what we can learn when we get brave.